The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development with a magazine and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives. At The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. For more information, go to www.thebestyou.com. Stephanie Franklin. The title of her talk is Awakening Ancestral Memory, the key to unlocking your divine purpose. Healer and medium Stephanie is a priestess of the ancient indigenous African traditionalist path of the Yoruba peoples of Nigeria. Her practice, rooted in the sacred teachings, will help you discover your divine purpose. Enjoy.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Am I too loud? Because I have a very loud voice. I really don't need a mic, but I was told that I needed to use one. How's everybody today? So I really want to thank you for coming into this workshop. I want to say to you that if my accent is a little difficult for you to understand, just kind of raise your hand and wave it and I'll slow down because sometimes our words are used a little differently. So I want to say, again, welcome. I'm really excited to be here in London today. And I want to bring you into the book that I've just released, Mindset of an Entrepreneur, 7 Strategies to Shift Your Mindset from Employee to Business Owner. So I want to tell you a little bit about why I wrote this book. So a little bit about me is that I'm an international speaker, author, CEO, and I'm an attorney, okay? That's just the surface stuff, right? I really want to say that's just the surface stuff. That's the stuff that I think is important on the outside, right, for the superficial people. It really is. Those are just labels, or what my father would say are stickers. But I want to tell you about who I am in the spirit. Because when you know who you are in the spirit, you will know whether or not you are called to start and run a business. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about my journey. Okay? I'll go back to that, to the questions. So this is a quote from my book. It took me 9 years to realize I didn't have the mindset of an entrepreneur. And 2 more years to name it. 11 years, right? No one ever told me that the strength of your mindset determines your success in business. Now, I'm going to be very bold here because I'm a very bold and direct person. I am going to tell you that. People talk about mindset a lot in this coaching industry. They always say you need to shift your mindset. You need to have a positive mindset, but they never tell you how. Shifting your mindset is more than saying positive thoughts or thinking positive thoughts and having positive affirmations. That's really new agey to me. And it's fine. It's not like there's anything wrong with it. It is a supplement to shifting your mindset. But it is not truly how you shift your mindset. In order to shift your mindset, you have to journey deep within. You need to do the inner work to really determine who you are. And most people don't do that. They don't do that here in the UK. They don't do that in the United States. They don't do that in other parts of Europe. They don't do that in Africa. They don't do that in Asia. They don't do that in North America. They don't do it in South America. Because as a world, we are trained to play what? On the surface. I'm not a surface woman. So when I work with you and I talk to you, I pull what's out, what's in, I pull it out. And it's not that I tell you what you need to do. I'm not going to tell you what I need to do, you need to do. That's a deeper inner journey that you have to partake in order to pull out what you're called to do. And that is no different in business. Okay? So let me tell you about this quote. It took me 9 years. I've been a lawyer for over 20 years. I was a lawyer as a very young woman, right? So I graduated from law school at 25 years of age, and I've been a lawyer for a long time. And so in this journey, I was blessed that 12 years ago, I started my own law firm. I didn't know I was meant to be a business owner. And I'm going to ask, are there any lawyers in this room? Just got it, or barristers. Okay, raise it high. I'm going to give a shout out to the barrister back there. Oh, number two, I see another one. I want to give a shout to the barrister in the front row. Or solicitor. I know there's a different system here. So let me say this. A lot of lawyers didn't think about their law firm as a business. I know that's ridiculous, but we weren't trained to think that, right? So it took me a long time to realize I really had a business. It was like a business. And what I recognized was this. I was not equipped, so I thought, right, in my training to run a business because I went to law school to advocate. That's why I went. And I'm a litigator, right? So I was like, okay, I was trained to be in the courtroom. I was struggling in my business, and I'm going to tell you how I struggled. Because I was trained as an advocate, because I was strong as an advocate, I was hiring attorneys to work for me, and I was working alongside them. And there were other parts of the business that were being ignored. And I was having trouble with my staff because they really thought that they were my peers, and they're not my peers. Okay? It was very challenging for me. There was a lot I had to learn about running a business that was just thrown upon me that I didn't have the quote-unquote formal training. Now, if you needed me to brief a case, if you needed me to get up and stand before a judge or a panel of judges and argue a case, I could do that. But it was the running of the day-to-day of the business that I didn't know how to do. And I have to tell you, that's the part that I've learned to love, right?
Having promoted more than 600 speakers and more than 65,000 people attend my seminars and courses and workshops and expos, having read so many books and attended so many courses, I really realized that the basics of personal, professional growth is based on the power of the question. Asking yourself empowering questions. Read my new book, The Question, Find Your True Purpose. It's based on my work, 30 years of entrepreneurship, all the experiences that I have, my manifesto, and what's really important. So for more information, go to www.thequestion.co.
So as I'm going through this journey and I'm really struggling, like I have all of these things to do in my business. I got to do all this payroll, this HR. I have to be the project manager. I have to be the managing attorney. Not only am I the CEO, but I'm also the staff attorney. I'm doing all of these things. And guess what? There was no one there to help me. There wasn't. And I'm not a person that's afraid to reach out for help. So when I knew that I was struggling, I reached out to a couple of coaches. They didn't meet the mark for me. I carry a standard of excellence. They couldn't tell me deeply why I'm still having trouble with running my business. And it took me 9 years, literally 9 years to say, there's something I'm missing in running this business. I don't even know what it is, but I'm missing something because I'm doing everything that everybody is telling me to do, but it's not working. And I've been blessed, right? Because I was bringing in a multi-million-dollar revenue stream over 12 years. And people would think of that as success. I didn't think of it as success because I was having so much trouble with my staff. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. Then I started coaching. I started coaching and doing business coaching, and it was when I started my coaching journey, and it was when I started coaching my own business clients that they started sharing the same story. And I'm going to tell you what it was. Many of them really didn't feel that they were worthy of owning a business. They didn't feel it. They would go back to say things like, I haven't been trained to run a business. I don't know what I'm doing. My staff is being disrespectful to me. I just don't feel whole enough. I feel inadequate. And I'm really afraid of failing. Who's going to come to me? And I said, oh, wow. You know, I'm thinking that I was in my isolation, and I said, that's when the light bulb went off for me. I said, this is about mindset in a different way. And again, it's not about speaking positive affirmations, having positive thoughts. Again, I'm not downing those things. I think they're important, but they are a supplement to. It's the work that you have to get to determine whether or not you feel worthy enough and that you feel adequate enough to run a business. And I'm going to say this. I coach women. I do work with men, but I work with men one-on-one. And why do I coach women? I coach women because a whole lot happens in women's spaces. When women are building businesses, they confront themselves. The disclosures that have nothing to do with business come up in our group coaching spaces. And they are things that come up that should only be privy to women in women's spaces. It's a sacred space for women, just like I'm sure that there are things in a group male coaching space that are only for men and that are sacred for men. Right? And I try to maintain that integrity because, again, people hit a lot of personal walls when they're building their business. People don't think that, and I'm going to tell you, traditionally, they don't teach that. You have to get at the core of who you are to really understand whether or not you're called to run a business. Now, when you've been told all your life, whether it's through society, whether it's through your family, your peers, adult influencers, your teachers, whomever, whenever you've been told that you're not good enough for whatever reason. So let's just say it. Let's just say it. My family, very supportive of me. I am a black woman who was specifically a descendant of captive Africans in the U.S. I am a woman, and I've been told all my life, not from my family, but from the society at large, that I can't do that. I don't have the intellect for that. That's not what black women do. And so all my life, I'm bucking against this. And whether it's because of race, whether it's because of gender, whether it's because you didn't have a quote-unquote certain personality that people are saying is needed to run a business, you have to wipe that away. You have to wipe it. And you have to do that inner work to get there. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going in. My time, I'm going in. I'm going a lot of places. So let me go back. I want you to answer 3 questions for me. Have you ever wanted to start your own business but did not know how or where to start? Raise your hand. Oh, it's a good size of the room. Okay. Have you ever wondered if you had the right stuff to become an entrepreneur? Okay. Let's be honest now. You know, you don't have to put on the front. You really don't. You really don't. Are you afraid you will fail?
If you're interested in speaking, exhibiting, or getting involved in the largest personal development expos in the world, contact us today at www.thebestyouexpo.com or send us an email to info@thebestyou.co.
All right, so let's go through this. I want to talk a little bit about the strategies, just a couple of them, and I'm going to have a book signing at 3:30. But I want to talk about a couple of the strategies that I talk about in the book. And I want to say this to you. This is not coming from a traditional space. This is a space where you're going to have to face your truth. You're going to have to do the work. And doing the work requires a certain level of courage and a certain level of honesty with yourself. Even if it's not with anyone else, it's with you. So the first thing you need to do, you need to really know who you are. These are quotes, right, from the book. Knowing who you are requires unfiltered truth and honesty about your gifts, your talents, and skills. Don't play that game. You might be someone who's quiet, right, who's not an extrovert, but that is a leader. Your external style may be different than the extroverted leader, But you may be someone who has deep vision that can bring teams and scores of people together and have them operate and function in a way to uplift whatever your mission or your message is in your business. Right? You need to know who you are really. And I mean, you need to do the work, the inner journeying work, to know what you're really truly gifted at, what you're truly talented at, and what you're truly skilled at. Strategy number 2. I know this stuff sounds corny, but it's so true. You have got to believe in yourself. Believing in yourself means that you have a deep inner knowing about what you are, quote unquote, called to do, where you excel, and what you are here to accomplish. Remember, I told you that story about what I'm not supposed to be, because I am a woman, and I am specifically a black woman who was a descendant of captive Africans enslaved in the U.S. I've been told many a time what I'm not. You know, you may be faced with a lot of opposition. There are some of you in here, and I'm going to call you out, and if you know who you are, you don't have to raise your hand. There are some of us that are meant to trailblaze. There are some of us in this room who are meant to pioneer. And when you are called to be a trailblazer, and when you are called to be a pioneer, that means that there is no way paid for you. And you, when you go against the status quo, you're going to be hit with boulders. They're coming. You have to anticipate that. They're going to come, but you're going to have to believe inside of yourself what you are called to do. Because you have to be unstoppable. As an entrepreneur, you will hit so many barriers. Do I have enough money? Have I hired the right staff? Are we delivering the right services for the customers that we serve? These are things that you are going to have to consider. And there may be your staff, may be naysayers, your family, Allah, your peers. Oh, you can't do this. You should just stop now. That's a stupid idea. You're too kind to people. You need to charge more money. All those kinds of things. But deep in your spirit, in your bones, I got this. This is what I'm supposed to do. I have to believe in me. And it's deep. But you have to stand in that. You have to stand in that. So I'm having a book signing at 3:30 today. It's over at the bookstore. And again, it's my book, Mindset of an Entrepreneur, 7 Strategies to Shift Your Mindset from Employee to Business Owner. After each of the chapters, there are exercises for you to do. And I want to say this. I have a program. It's a 4-week boot camp. And again, it's a group coaching program, so I help women jumpstart their businesses by focusing on 4 key business areas: messaging, audience, services, and systems. That's the link you can go to find out more about me, to access my website information. And for men, I do individual coaching with men. In the Powerhouse Business Boost program, it's a 4-week boot camp, online learning modules. It's 1-hour weekly group coaching calls. And there is a closed Facebook group. It's usually about $3,000 to $2,997 US, $2,315 in pounds. I said in this room only, but I'm extending it through the rest of the expo, that the price for you all would be 1,156 pounds. If you want to talk to me more about the book or about what I do, you can come see me at Stand G19. At 4:15 today, I will be having like a mini workshop over at my stand talking about business and personal development. And that's at Stand G19 at 4:15 today. Also, tomorrow, I will be holding an online conversation about building business and how that intersects again with your personal development tomorrow at 1 o'clock. The price of that workshop online will be $47. right? I have to calculate that in pounds. I'm sorry. I can talk to you about that at my table. If you're interested, you can come over and sign up and you can get it online. I have 1 minute left. I want to thank you for being a great audience. I want to thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the expo. I love you, London. This has been great. Thank you.
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.